T. Ladies and gentlemen, anything you say will be in the archive. All right, now let me share screen. And here we go. My friends, I bring you our very first together in this community private money introductory class. Okay. It starts out with a picture of my wife and I. We are Mark and Katie, and we need help changing our community. Step 1, join the lenders community. Step 2, receive funding opportunities, no hassle. Step 3, enjoy interest-only returns on a 14-month term or 3-year term. And the little catch that we give to get people in is a lender should never erode their principal. Wise asset-based lending. My friends, some of us need $400,000 to help build out an auction website that we're developing that shows promise and is showing a positive cash flow. Like what we generate and what we net is above 30%. Things are going well. I need $300,000 to help build this out. Here's what some of that money is going to be spent on. We got to crawl before we walk personally. Okay. So we always want to involve an attorney anytime we're thinking through details of asking people for money. We don't want to spend $200 or $150 an hour. I know that, but you absolutely have to do it. I tell everybody all the time, there are things we can cheap out on and things that we just shouldn't. Don't cheap out on a foundation guy. Don't cheap out on a roof guy, an electrician, a plumber, an AC guy. Let me just add one to the list. Don't cheap out on your attorney. You're going to make up the money you spent with them by convincing a person to lend you their money for super cheap. Guys, the ceiling is through the roof on this. If you talk to somebody and hey, I need to borrow 300 grand. I bought this thing. Bank was giving me trouble. I want to get out of it. I want $300,000. Listen, man, the payback on it, I'm going to give you, $400,000, but I want it on a 20-year term. And this is what the payment's going to be. If somebody's cool with that, that's a way better deal than $300,000 at 7.5% on a 30-year term. You know how much interest you're going to pay? And so you're making, this is a much, much better deal. But to start out, we do simple things that people can understand, like interest-only returns. You give me 100 grand, I'm going to give you 9.3 interest on it. That's $775 a month. Every month you get $775. Mr. Marcus, that Toyota Tundra you're about to buy, you're about to spend what? $60,000 on it? Oh yeah. Do not do that. Lend me your 100. I'll give you $775 a month on it. Use that to make the payment on the Tundra. When the truck is paid off, you have a Tundra and your 100 grand still exists. If you want to work with me, you have to agree that a lender should do their best to never erode their principal. Okay, now we move forward. Now, why should I raise private money? Can't I just use a hard money lender? Yeah, you can use a hard money lender. Let's think about this for a second. A lot of us in real estate, at first we raise money to do flips. And so when we do flips, we use hard money lending companies. We're going to talk a little bit about that, and I'm going to kind of blow through it. If you have a question, you're welcome to stop me. If the answer is going to be long-winded, I may tell you we'll wait till the end. And that's cool. We'll write them out. So you can stop me. So check this out. Why should we raise private money when we could just use a hard money lender? Number one, with private money, you set the terms on the capital you borrow. If somebody's okay with receiving 6% interest only, no origination fees, 2-year term. Ready? I'm going to hit you with a good one. Ready? Don't pay monthly. Let it accrue until the property sells. When we started our business, we borrowed $350,000. Okay. We used that as a case study. We made 120 off the 350. The lender made 60, we made 60. We told him after that deal, this deal is never going to happen again. But we never borrowed money from someone, and it was a big risk for you. So here's your 60 grand. He became our biggest cheerleader. The next person who came to us, we told him, we're happy to work with you. We don't like to make monthly payments. Oh, and we don't want to do draws. When we buy the house for 120 and I borrow 220, I want the 100 grand wired at closing. If you trust us, you trust us. If you don't, you don't. I understand that. The folks that I'm currently working with and the rates that I'm giving them allows for me, calls for me to be able to say to you, I don't want draws. I want all the money up front. I want it at X% interest. I don't mind if there's an origination fee tacked on it because I'm not going to pay you till end of balloon. And that's it. So the next 15, 20 deals we did high 3% origination, 12% interest with a gentleman who had been lending before to other people. He's very smart, a gentleman who worked in construction for 25 years. But when I looked at a property in San Antonio, I knew if I was good with the number, I could buy it. And no one else was going to get it but me. Because Dean didn't need to go drive by the property. He didn't need to check on it. He didn't need to send an appraiser to quickly appraise it. There were no doc fees. There was none of that stuff. Dean, I want to buy this house. I'm sending you the details. I know the numbers are good on it. If you have any questions, let me know. Dean would look at it within 24 hours, say, yeah, man, we're good. You know, tackle it. I already have it in contract. Thanks, Dean. Closing comes. I get all the money I need to go and do the work in the house. Dean knows he's not getting any payments, that it's going to be a pay at the end of balloon. And we did many deals that way. And so then it became more people start coming to us. We're building proof of product, and we get to begin to set the terms lower and lower and lower. If you raise money the right way, you're going to get to a place where you got 6% money and 5% money and 8% money and 9% money. And this is $1 million project. I'd rather bring this person in as a limited partner and offer them 15% of the profit, because then I don't got no debt coverage with them. And they understand you're a partner in this. We all believe the projection is that we'll make 600 grand. But if we make 100 grand, you were a partner. Like, partners accept risk together. So you get to figure out what you want to structure based on the situation. Now, and we're going to jump a little more into the trust factor, but I'm going to jump back in. With a hard money lender, you got to do appraisers, holding times, doc fees, origination fees. You set the terms with your lenders. You can have none of that. Number 3, when you have a really good deal, is speed of cash to buy important? Yes. Yes. So why should you raise private money? Because that 20 unit that has no business selling to you at 500 grand, needing 200 in work, guys, if it's selling for 5, that dude got an amazing deal. Now, we got to do some due diligence, don't get me wrong, but somebody is scooping that up. You lock that sucker up, because you know I got 2 people who will fund this thing. And they want 5,000 EMD. I've looked at the specifics. I'm going to write in under special provisions. Here's some reasons I can get my earnest money back. You kind of list a few basic things. But besides that, I'm okay with risking my earnest on a deal that big. I mean, some of these deals that we run into, guys, we can literally buy it, clean it out, throw it on the market, and make $150,000. We literally did nothing but pay somebody to go clean it up. So why should we raise money? So that we don't miss out on opportunities like this. What would raising $250,000 in private money do for your business? 1, it gives you the confidence to take down a good deal and take your time selling it off. Remember, the person who loses is the person who cares the most. Oh, I really got to sell this. I'm a motivated seller now. So you're given a better deal than you wanted to. Maybe you sell something and you're negative $3 grand and you projected to make 23 grand. Like, these sort of situations happen. But if you had 250 in the chamber and you know you're sitting on something that's good. It just the right person needs to come across it. You can take your time selling that property off. When Aaron reached out to me on 2811 Ruiz in San Antonio on a live, I had already been holding that thing for 5 months. Everybody and their mother was, oh, well, you're not going to be able to get electricity on over there because the meter's done, and oh, the gas that the city's going to have to be involved in every step of the way, and they're going to let anything be grandfathered in. I heard every excuse under the sun, man. And this is what I said. I said, okay, but has anybody tried? No, we just have heard from other people. Ah, I'm not selling it to you at that. I want 90. I want to make 30 grand. If I'm not making 30 grand, I'm just going to flip it myself. And that's fine with me. So I ended up flipping it myself. And turns out, guess what? A finagled conversation with AEP. Oh, they put a meter on. Took me 10 minutes. 4 repeat calls to CPS to turn on the gas. First guy, deny. Oh, just call again. Deny. 4th time I asked the question the right way. And they're like, oh, well, we'll put you a meter out there for the gas. You don't got to go through the rigmarole. Boom, got it. Got my gas. Got my electric. Didn't have to mess with dealing with the city. And I sold it for good money. See, being able to have 250 in the chamber gives us the confidence to take down a good deal, take our time selling it off. 2, you can pay your wholesale fee to yourself and keep the property to leverage out for more money. I don't know if you realize that, but we're to the point where the company buying the property and the company finding the property are 2 separate companies. So when my acquisition company finds it, it's selling it to my flip company. My flip company is paying a minimum $7 grand to the wholesale company because the wholesale company worked hard to find that deal. So we're doing direct to seller here, getting a good deal. Oh, none of y'all want it? None of y'all want to pay me the 30 I want for this? Fine, I'll buy it myself. Hey, Mark's other company, I'll sell you this deal. I just want $7,500. Okay. So this company from this company buys it. Okay. So you can still pay a wholesale fee. Wholesaling doesn't have to go away. Level 1 is wholesaling. Level 2 is raising money so that you can take advantage of opportunity, right? Level 3 is all those opportunities we talk about. Low level opportunities like sub 2s, like flips, simple single family things. Level, 4 is a smaller multi-unit, a commercial auto shop. Level 5, a bigger self-storage building, 100-unit man camp in a rural area, a RV park, a 50-unit mobile home park. But we level up to these things. We don't start at wholesale and end up with a 150-unit or mobile home park. And for those of us that do, we're going to make a lot of mistakes along the way, and we're going to lose a lot of money doing that. A lot of equity will have been lost in doing it. We work the magic. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 1, wholesale. Learn how to find a good deal. Step 2, because then we're capturing equity. Step 2, learn how to raise money. That's the natural progression, my friends. So the ability to have capital available also gives you the opportunity to grow your business. Number 3, the ability to have capital available gives you what you need to grow your business. I went to one of my original lenders that started out as a lender, as a hard money guy. I went to him and said, we've been working together, what, 2 years? He said, yeah. I said to him, I want to start a construction company. I need 75 grand to start it. Can I borrow 75 grand? I told him, you can be second lien collateral on 2 or 3 commercial properties I have that worth way more than that. But are you cool with 75? Guys, he said yes within the 2-3 minutes we were talking. The money was wired to me as soon as the attorney drew up the business loan docs. And so sometimes we start other businesses, and if we get good at doing this properly, people offer to fund other businesses. Who's going to give us the better deal? A person who trusts us, who has money and just wants to see their money make money, work with someone they trust, or Chase Bank. Chase Bank might give us a little lower interest. But when you call Chase and say, oh, we ran into this problem, guess what Chase is going to say? What do I care for? This is the terms of the deal. You better give me what you said you would give me. But when I call Nicholas and say, I know we said we were going to exit out of this in May, there's no way it's happening in May. I'm going to need a 4-month extension, and here's some of the reasons why. Nicholas, if I've communicated with him well, is more than likely going to say, yeah, man, I'm going to make a little more. That's fine. Do what you need to get it done. Thank you for calling me. Okay. Case study time. So 321 Blank Street in Seguin, Texas was a 12-unit apartment. Okay. I called the gentleman, direct to seller marketing, get him on the phone. He's got 6 other houses in the 12-unit apartment, guys. The 12-unit apartment looks a lot nicer in this picture. When I grabbed it, it was terrible looking. It was absolutely terrible. Okay. So I negotiated a purchase, all or nothing. I want all of it or none of it. Okay. For the 6 houses, I'm $300,000 all in for all of them. Okay. For the 12-unit apartment, I'll pay you $240,000. The rents were low in houses. The rent at each apartment was $300 with free water and trash. It was just like actually 3 families who've just been being there and not taking care of the units. This was very early on in our business. We started 2020, got going kind of well 2021, bumped into this late 2021, coming into 2022. We were not ready to keep this stuff. That's the other mistake we make, guys. Some of us, this is my opinion, some of us hold on to property too soon. If you don't have a lot of generated active income, like you're making over $250,000 a year and Uncle Sam is taking boatloads of cash from you every year at the end of the year, why are you even thinking about holding on to slow money, right? Why hold on to things that you could continue to make active? You want to build a consistent business where active money, active income is coming every month. People are being paid really well. And then your accountant says to you, ooh, we got to have a tax problem at the end of the year. Y'all made too much money. Then you say, hey, what we got in the pot? Okay, keep these 3 because if we keep them, we'll save this with the IRS. You hold stuff for its depreciation, not for its cash flow. Unpopular opinion. Oh, but I can get depreciation and cash flow and depreciation. Those unicorns exist. And $150 a month for someone to nag you every 2 to 3 months about a air filter that needs to be changed on an AC is not going to change your life for the good. But you know what will? Clearing $3 million in generated revenue, 40% of that being profit. That's going to start changing your life. Now let's go buy that 12-unit. Now let's keep it. We'll work on it when we work on it, man. I just didn't want to give that money to Uncle Sam. So early on, we kept none of this. And it was the right thing to do. $300 all in, 12-unit apartment, $240,000 all in. What hard money lender is going to lend on that? Okay, so we took the apartment to a hard money lender. They denied us. In fact, it's not him, and I love him, and he's great, and I don't even think he knows me. So when you say Mark said something about you say, what's Mark? Who's Mark? Say, hey, respect to that gentleman, Corey, who's moving all kinds of stuff in our business in Texas and doing a lot of mobile homes. Corey works with a hard money lending company. Forgot what it's called, like Bubble Lending or something like that, Jet Lending. Anyway, they would not give us the money to buy the apartment out. We knew we had it super cheap. We just need to buy it. Take our time finding some dude that wanted to buy it, sell it, make $100,000. What do? Okay. We know now they don't want to do it for us. So we wholesale 3 of the houses for $120,000 profit. We bought the other 3 houses, cleaned them out, and sold them for a profit after we got tenants out. So we went through the process on the 3 that were clean, get the tenants out, scrub them clean, sell them for as much as we can. Guys, at this time, interest rates were still 2% and 3%. So things were flying, okay? 3, we bought the 12-unit, cleaned it up a bit, kicked some folks out, got everyone registered as tenants, then offered it for sale at $420,000. $240 to $420. $120 profit on the 3. I got to go look back at the details of this, but the total profit on the apartment was $100,000 plus the houses that brought in an additional 180,000. Okay, I did do the numbers. We would have missed out on all of this without a private money lender. When we got this deal, guess how many houses we had flipped at the time? 4. Just 4. None, and none with a hard money lending company. So when we went to a hard money lending company with this, they said, well, you've never flipped a house with a lending company. No, but we've done 4. Oh, but those were just for people. They wouldn't work with us. Even though the credit was good, the money was there, and here's the other part. They said, well, if we worked with you, anytime they start with, well, if we, what do you think that's going to cost? Money. They want to charge me $300 every time I blink. $300. Those hard money lending companies, you get sick of them sending an appraiser or sending a guy out to see if you're finished with phase 1. Oh, nobody was there. He had lunch. He went back. That's going to be an extra $200. I just paid $400 for a guy to eat Subway, to come down to my town, to look at a place that I sent them a video that this work was already done. So what do? We go to somebody who had lent on one. We don't offer the house, just a 3% origination fee, 12% interest. We'll pay you on the back end when they're all sold. We plan on keeping none of this, sir. It's all going to be profit. Here are the details of it. The gentleman was Dean. Dean said, let's do it. And we made all this money. So looking at a deal like this, where you talk to a guy who owns multiple things, tells us who doesn't need to raise money. I guess people who already have a lot of money don't need to raise money. You know, if you've got a $5 million nest egg, then yeah, who cares about raising money? Go keep doing your thing. Hire a guy, pay him, $100,000 a year to go find people and raise money through him, and never talk to the people who lend, because you're building your case studies with your 5 mil. But for the most of us out here working, we have to be raising money. Okay. Now, who are these people who have money? Okay. There's some common misconceptions here, and I'm going to clear them up for you. Mark, I don't know anyone with money. Nobody I know, Mark, has money. You don't know where I come from. All the people I know are asking me for $20. Like, I don't know anybody with money. Okay. The truth is, you do know people with money, and the reason they got money is because you don't know they have money. And it isn't the guy driving a new Escalade. It's not him. He has good credit, but he's leveraged out. It's the person you would least expect who has money. They're cheap. They get water every time we go to a restaurant. They're mad anybody got more than just water. They drive an old Toyota Tacoma. They've been driving that thing forever. They can afford to go buy a nice luxury vehicle. They still live in that little 2-1, and they got 3 kids, and their wife's been begging them, can we please go get a bigger house? We don't need a bigger house. The people with money that have come across you are good at holding on to that money, and they don't want to lose it. But you are in a wonderful situation because inflation is over 5%. And cheap people hate losing their money. So you get to tell a cheap person, keep that $100,000 in savings. I just want you to know it does cost you something. When you go to bed at night and you hug your phone because you checked it and your savings says that 100's still there. Listen, that is going to cost you $5,000 a year. So pretend you're paying a monthly subscription. What's 5,000 divided by 12? That's what you're paying the bank. Because your 100 is worth 95 next year. An argument could be made is worth 92. What I want to do is help you make money off of your money. When people begin to understand that, they start thinking differently about that money they're sitting on. Common misconception number 2, no one would trust me to borrow money. Okay? But people will trust someone who has a good deal. If you have a really, really good deal, the more untrustworthy you are to people, if you got a past, if you're still on social media, speaking your mind on things that nobody cares what you think about that, and you need to clean up a little bit, Button up a bit, okay? You're here to make money to build a business, okay? Um, the less trustworthy you are, the more margin there needs to be on what you're looking at. I trust a crackhead if he brought me a $250,000 house for 20 bucks. I'm gonna trust that dude. I'm gonna trust him at 50,000. And so no one would trust me to borrow money. Really is the truth is people will trust someone who has a good deal. 3, only rich people know other rich people. You set the terms on lending. And people who have money that you give them a good deal and you make them money will be your biggest cheerleader to other people. I still do private money meetings. I still recruit some when I hear a person talking about money, when the opportunity presents itself, when I'm at Cabo Bob's and I don't know what burrito I want yet, and I start just kind of chit chatting on the side. I get in trouble with my wife all the time because I'm a chit chatter. Like, I'll be in the vegetable area and I'll be like, man, those bell peppers look ugly, don't you think? Some lady will laugh, we'll talk for a second, and then I'm in trouble. It don't matter if that lady's 70 years old, I'm still in trouble. Like, my wife is jealous for me. But that gifting of being just friendly has brought me a lot of money. But you're going to get to the point where your biggest cheerleaders, who you're making money for, they just bring you people. People just 90% of the people I'm talking to now, someone said, "Hey, I work with a guy. It's been a great experience. I'd love to introduce you." So now people are just making guys, ready? This is a life hack. My attorneys are making half of my introductions now. Get in and build a good relationship with an estate attorney, someone who's handling people's estates when they pass, or estates where they're sitting on cash and trying to figure out where to park it. Pay that person good money. Now, lastly, the lender, Mark, is a shark and will want all the profit. Most lenders you recruit will not be sharks. They are happy with an 8% return, no origination fees, no extra costs. Some of them even no monthly payments. Let's say you're low on funds because these other jobs are taking a while and some of these wholesale deals ain't pushed through. You could go to that guy and say, hey, you know what? We're watching cash flow in the business. This is still a great deal. Instead of doing 8% with you and you getting that monthly payment, because I know you're just going to park it in savings, why don't I give you 9.3%? But my request is that we pay it at the end of balloon, if that's cool with you. They're going to look at that and be like, I'm making an extra 1.3%. I mean, I'm not doing anything with it anyway. Like, absolutely, man, let's do it. Now, some of you need to know this. When you first start, there's nothing wrong with doing a few deals with some sharks in the beginning. Document the experience because that is your case study when you go to somebody who has money who isn't a shark, who isn't a natural lender of money. So let's say Jared's a shark. I got a deal. Jared wants 50% of the profit. Heck no. I'm going to negotiate for him to get 37% of the profit. I don't want to give him 37%, but I've never used private money before. And I tell Jared, I'll give you that 37%, but you're going to do something for me. You're going to be a referral when I bring other people at a lower amount than you. I'll always bring a good deal to you if what we're working out here goes well. But I need other people involved so that I don't hit a ceiling. Can you be a person of reference after, because I know you're going to, after you've had a good experience with me? Jared's going to say, yeah, I can do that. Guess who's on my credibility packet? People who made more than I wanted them to make when we first started and are making what the rate of return is now that I've negotiated with other people, so that what they make has gone down. But these are people who've made hundreds of thousands of dollars off of me. So when they take calls from somebody who's thinking about working with me, they're happy to share with them. It's been a good experience. Every time I've worked with them, I've made good money, and I've always gotten my money back. Now, who's going to rejuvenate our declining neighborhoods? Wholesaler. It doesn't have to be the person you're trying to find to do it. It can be you who's rejuvenating the neighborhoods. Jared, you got your hands up. What you got?
What does that conversation look like? You know, that first time talking to maybe a shark or a family member, how do you approach them and say, hey, listen, like, do you have a, like, just from your experience, how do you approach it? How did you approach them and how would you approach them now?
Okay, so number one, I'm priming them before they realize and know they're being primed. Okay, let me tell you how I do that. I talk often about the houses that I'm finishing, about my acquisition cost on it, the trouble that we ran into with it, the parts about it I loved, a little about the family who ended up buying it. I love taking bathroom pics where I sit on the toilet before it's been renovated, and then I sit on it after, and I call it my glow up. People love that stuff. But what I'm doing is I'm continuing to tell people online I'm out with my team making things nice and giving it to good families who deserve to have it. So the more I do that, I get to say things like, hey, Jared, how's work? How are things going with your family? What are y'all up to? And by the way, guys, when they talk, this is important. Many of us are not good listeners. When someone talks, don't think while they talk. Listen. My mother-in-law was a kindergarten teacher for 35 years, and this is what she told me. She said, "Son, it's okay to take a minute to think about what you want to say before you speak." When I realized that, I thought, now I can listen to what Jared is saying, process, then tell him an answer. And I give a much better, rounded out answer. So, number one, I'm priming people by asking how they're doing. When I ask you how you're doing, Jared, you're going to ask me how I'm doing. And I'm going to say, I'm going to say the truth. Yesterday was a better day than today, man. Check this house out I'm finishing up. Boom, boom. This one is already in contract to buy. I'm so excited. Our company's going to make like 40 grand. Like, it's wonderful. But let me show you why I'm having a bad day today. Look at this house. Yeah, those are 14 mice, baby mice growing in between the couch there. It took us forever to get this tenant out. You know what the city told me? The freaking city, bro. You ready? Sit down for this. Can we get another coffee? You're going to love this, man. And I'm telling them about real life work that's happening. And when I do that, somewhere in the conversation, we start talking about our families, our hopes and goals for the future for them, providing for them, making sure that our people have the things they need, some of the things they want. And then you get to ask, what are you doing to prepare for when you're not in the prime of life? Guys, a man's prime, okay? I can't speak on the woman because I'm not one. A man's prime, we're dumb for a long time, fellas. A man's prime, in my mind, starts at like 35. And our prime work years, where the idiot in us and the wisdom meet each other, where we're wise enough to know we don't know nothing, but we know to ask and work hard and work together, and it meets somewhere like late 40s, early 50s, and then you turn 60, and everything hurts a little. So when you're 35, talking to another, a 42-year-old, I guarantee you they're thinking, especially if they've stored some money, they are thinking, how will I take care of myself and my family when I'm 60? Because 60 is coming fast. Because, guys, in my mind, I feel like that same 19-year-old dude. Now, I don't feel it when I run and I've packed on some pounds, right? But I'm 35, going to be 36 this year. Time flies. So the way those conversations come up, for me, they come up in just everyday conversation. And I'm going to speak in another session. I'm going to break down how I handle those conversations, the type of framework I use, and questions that I ask. We're going to go through like all that stuff. It's going to be great. But we start with, are you being lovingly, graciously, thoughtfully loud about what you're doing, not braggy loud. I don't recommend you getting online and be like, hustlers back, got another one done right here. This is what we did. I'm making 50 racks. Look at me. That's not what I'm saying.
So how do you frame it then?
Our demographic, guys, are people over 55. Most of these people giving us money are over 55. The way I'm framing it, I like to tell the story. We got this house. We are so thankful. We made $50,000. Let me just say, that doesn't mean, my friends, I have $50,000 sitting in my account now, and I'm ready to take everybody to Texas Roadhouse, and everybody's getting ribeyes on me. A lot of that money pours back into our business because we want to grow. We want to better serve our staff. But can I tell you a story about what happened with 913 Houston Street? Long post ahead. I'll give a part one. A couple days later, give a part two with a little funny video. Learn how to do reels, things like that. Not to make them go viral, for people in your community to see what you're up to. Most of my Facebook reels don't go viral, but everybody in Atascosa County that knows me or knows my family or has some third, fourth party connection with me sees my stuff and knows what I do. Those are the people and the reasons I make these videos. It's for them because it's going to bring me more money. Having said that, who are these people that have money? Who's going to rejuvenate the declining neighborhoods? It's going to be us. Remember, my friends, security is in the discount. Is the discount I got for the property. So the deal's always in the discount. You cannot allow yourself to grab a deal where the equity capture is too low. The lower the equity capture, the higher the risk. And if you're the kind of person who thinks, well, it ain't my money I'm risking, you're not ready to start asking people for money. You should want to lose your money before you let yourself lose any other person's money. You want to be an honorable person. I have done deals where the profit wasn't what it should be for the person who was involved. And I, to make sure they got what I said they would get, graciously, absolutely wanting to, with a smile on my face, lost money on that deal because I said they'd make 10. So you know what? They're gonna make 10. And I made -3. But I will lose my money first. You got to have that mindset. Okay. Now, who is my avatar? Someone who is over 35 and has money they have saved, but is hesitant to touch the stock market. The ideal person is someone who puts everything in savings because they're scared to lose it. That person is a wonderful person to work with. If you can build that trust with them, they are absolutely wonderful. These item number 2, these people fund half of my deals, my owner finance deals, especially. I could go on and on. Another ideal person is a wannabe, someone who has some money, who went to a lifestyles meeting or read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and they're like, man, I got 130 grand. Like, I'm gonna own like 20 rentals and just retire. And then they start realizing after going to like all the classes and hearing everybody talk, man, I don't like people. I don't like it when I can't get weed eater string in my weed eater, man. I get mad when my wife moves my book off the nightstand. It throws me into a roar. Like, when you're in real estate, you're going to encounter problems every day. And if you're not accustomed to having a good mindset when you encounter problems, then you should not be an entrepreneur and you should not own homes. But that's okay, wannabe real estate investor, because you know what you do have? You have money. And you know what? You would be perfect as a passive investor in real estate. You can still read that book on the nightstand. We don't have to go to a Spurs game together because you don't like people. That's fine. I'm going to send you a direct deposit every month in your account, and you do whatever you want with that money. And that house will be my problem. Those are our ideal people, okay? Now, how do I do this? Be honorable. Learn how to not lose people's money. That's why level 1 is so important. Because the way we don't lose people's money, the way we make the risk as low as possible is by capturing equity, doing direct to seller marketing, and taking down a property that is currently, the way it sits, worth 150 grand. And I got it for $47,000. It is, you can make so many mistakes before you're even close to losing the $90,000 you borrowed from them. You see
Wait,
what
Mark,
I'm saying?
Mark, you just said capturing equity. Can you elaborate on what that means?
There's multiple ways to capture equity in a property. The way most people capture equity in a property, especially in this market right now, they're making 90% offers on house. So a house, a finished house worth 100 grand, we're just to make a number simple. They're offering 90 grand with a bank loan. They're going to live in it. So they're capturing this 10% equity that's sitting there because the market's bad. They live in that house for 5 to 7 years. They go and sell it. They make a profit on top with the 10. That's how most people capture equity, but that's not how superhumans capture equity. Now, is it? We find people in distressed situations and we offer solutions, and what they offer is equity. We offer convenience, they offer equity. So the best way to capture equity is to capture it when you buy. It's worth 100, brother, I'll give you 47. You see what I'm saying? So that's how we capture equity. Number one, how do I do this? Be honorable. Learn how to not lose people's money. That means get really, really good deals. Wholesale all the stuff that's just a little too much risk for you. But when you get this one, and it is an amazing deal, that's the one you keep. That's the one you go get a lender on. 2, get a credibility packet put together. Some of you have never flipped a property, but you've wholesaled 15. Grab your 10 best, make a case study on them, go back and see what the person who bought it made off of it when they flipped it, and show this is what I made capturing equity in the beginning. This is what they made. This is what I could have made. And now I'm to the point where I know how to get a good deal. So I'm going to begin to keep some of these myself so that I can make this much instead of this much when I'm acquiring. See, I've built a case study showing I know how to find really good deals. Now I'm looking for someone to fund those really good deals. 3, get a good mentor, right? And y'all got that, I know, through Aaron. So that's a blessing right there. And then get a good real estate attorney. A real estate attorney will save you in more ways than one, my friends. All right, so we want that. Other things to think about. We use a loan officer when we sell our houses owner finance. That's a whole new class that we'll teach at some point. 2, we use a real estate attorney to write up all of our documents. 3, we always buy with general warranty insurance through title companies. Okay, we want the highest level of protection because we're letting someone give us their money. So we want to make sure that their money's protected and that that house on title will truly be ours. 4, we always use a note servicer to handle escrow for our houses that we get owner finance. And I see you, Tyler. I'm gonna get to you. Let me just show this one last slide so that we can be done on this part in case anybody needs to go. A funding opportunity that we did on a property, acquired at 55. I really got it at 47, but I paid my wholesale company $8,000. Okay. Bought this house, 451 10th Street in Poteet, Texas. Bought it for 55. There's a picture of the house right there. I've already sold it. Okay. Here's the specifics on it. Funding opportunity, first lien and loan amount of 85. Details on the property, ARV of the property, purchase price, rehab, total investment. Look at this, sir. If you invest 85 in your little interest bearing savings at 1.55% interest, you make this. And the money market at 5, you get this. A CD at 5, you get this. But with me, you get this. You see what I'm saying? So we're building out information to be able to share with people. And that's it. Tyler, what do you got? Oh, you're muted, brother. If you like what you saw today, throw me some emojis or something in the chat. Ask me questions. Tell me things you hope we cover later. Talk to me in the school app, guys. I want to be of value to you. Yes, Tyler.
So when you was talking about building the case study and using that as an example to like market to like the people that you want to do deals with or get money from, what's an example of how to build the case study? Like I got the deals and everything. So how do I actually build that? Like how do I guess put that together? What is an
Right.
example of
Yeah.
putting that
So,
together?
to keep it simple, I would use Canva to create the template. You go start a Canva account, go pay $20 for some teacher lady who already has all these templates built out with little like text boxes and everything. And you use those to show case study number one, the house, what what you've got it in contract for, the wholesale fee you made on it, what that person paid for that property. Page two, the finished product of the house. If you can get a picture of that, usually you can based off from Zillow, from talking to the former agent, or going back to the guy who bought the property, driving by it and taking a picture if you're local. Here's the finished product. Here's what it sold for. Here's what they made. And then off to the side, see that in green? That's what I would have made if I was the one who had renovated that property. Case study two, again, three, again. Case study four, I wholesaled it to them for 15 grand. They didn't do anything. They cleaned it out and they put it on the market and they made another 40 grand. So what could I have made? So I could have made 55. So what I'm doing is I'm crunching that middle number, which is actually larger than my wholesale fee. So I'm capturing more of my market from the hard work I did finding these people, negotiating for a good deal. You get to be involved, which means I'd rather pay you because I'm gonna make more and pay less in the end. See, it's like I paid 50 grand to this guy because he got to flip it. I missed out on that. But would I pay you 4 grand to borrow your money for 6 months? Of course I would. And that's sort of the thought process on it when we're building case studies off wholesales.
And like that, I guess an example of the assignment fee could be kind of like used as this is kind of potentially what you could be using as like the money that you would make in interest flow. If like I made this as an assignment, I made 15,000 on this assignment fee. If you was to have given me that money up front and I fixed it, this could have potentially been like my assignment fee could have been your interest that you made.
Correct, correct. And if you can especially offer something like that when you first get started, your first maybe 2 lenders. After that though, you aggressively push that number down. You want your money to be as cheap as possible until you start getting into development deals. Then you want your money as safe as possible. See the difference? When
Yeah.
we start, we want it cheap. When we start digging into the development stuff, we want it safe. Because now we built this business, this revenue. Maybe now we're starting to own stuff. I'm having a meeting tomorrow with a guy who's going to give me $500,000 to just buy drop mobile homes on all these open lots, sell them for less than 190 in my small rural area. Those 3.2s will fly off the shelves according to my data because I sell a lot of the 3.2s. They're mobile homes, but they're going to be FHA attached to the land, can go on an FHA RVA loan. That gentleman said, "You want to just pay me debt service on that 500 grand?" I said, "Nope." Ladies and gentlemen, and this is in fact how I pitched it. You have a once in a lifetime offer, and if you don't want it, that's totally okay. I'm going to pass it off to the guy right behind you, and more than likely he'll take it. He doesn't even know about it. I don't want to get him excited, but I'm telling you, I want $500,000. I want it in this account. We're going to form an LLC. You're going to be a limited partner. You're going to get 15% of the profit on everything we do for the next 3 years, but you're going to put $500,000 in that account. 15% to you, 10% to the attorney. Okay. So y'all are 25% in. She's going to watch your interest. She's going to watch, make sure your interest in all this is taken care of. All of the legal docs and everything are done correctly, that we're making safe decisions. But this is a mobile home like venture. We're going to try and do year 1, 15. We're going to do 15 mobile homes year 1 together. Okay. Those 15 in projection on the low end should make 22,000 at least on the low, 60 on the high on half acre, 1 acre lots. If we do 15, how much is that? You're going to get 15% of that profit. Why am I doing it that way? I'm getting this guy primed to become a developer partner. Because when I ask him for $2 million in a year and say, we're going to develop out a park, I'm buying 100 acres and we're going to develop out 1 acre and 2 acre lots with mobile homes, that's going to take a long time to finish. It can make big money, but if it doesn't make the big money we hoped it would, can he come after my assets? No. You know why? Because was he an investor, a lender on the deal, or was he a partner on the deal? Brother, you gonna sue yourself?
So I guess that's an example of it being the difference between a hard money lender and a private lender. You form that LLC and allow them to be partners instead of,
A private lender can be anybody. A private lender is just lending. They're giving you money, you're taking all the risk, and you better give them back that money or the collateral to that money. A partner is involved in the deal in some way. A limited partner only is involved by offering 1 or 2 specific things. Okay, so if you, Tyler, are a limited partner on a deal that we do for a business, and all you did was put $250,000 in, and I run that business shady, and someone sues me, you're only liable because you're limited and you weren't involved in the day-to-day for $250,000. None of your personal assets and stuff are involved. It protects you when you're limited. It protects me that you're limited because you don't get to have a lot of opinions.
Okay. That's what's up. Okay.
Yeah. So when we start, we want cheap money. But when we get to level 4, 5, 6, we want safe money. You guys see the difference there?
Yeah.
That we all knew this was a risk, Nicholas. We all thought, and the projections told us we'd make $1 million. And this took 6 years, and we made 300 grand. And the return is like 2% on your money. I know you're mad. I am mad. But we all knew going into this together that it was a partnership and it was a risk that we took. That don't mean I'm not going to keep taking care of you. But
do you
these
form
things
that?
Happen.
Do you form that LLC with every person that you're raising capital with, or is it you just one big LLC and everybody contributes to that one?
No. How I structure things depends on the person, what I'm wanting to accomplish, and other specific things.
Okay.
So hope that helps. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 1:02. The best thing you can do I'm going to finish recording this. It's going to be in archives under a folder. The best thing you can do, please drop a nugget in the school community. Give me a shout out because I want everybody to know I'm here. I'm here.
Mark, are you on Instagram, Mark?
What was that?
Are you on Instagram?
I am on Facebook and Instagram. My Instagram is very boring. Add Mark Camarillo on Facebook. That's where I am most fun and active. Love to see you there. We'll talk soon, y'all. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.